Good evening and welcome to this week's episode of Sunday Night Live, your favorite automotive show where we talk about all things automotive. The goal is, as my good friend Paul Machine puts it, a rising tide lifts all boats. And the better we all do in this business of ours, known as the auto business, the better the customer experience. And guess what? If they have a good experience at my store, they're going to expect a good experience at your store. And everybody benefits because now we've turned it into a respectable business that everybody values and wants to go to and be a part of. So thank you for tuning in. We bring on the experts every week to share with us what they do, how they contribute to making our business a little bit better. And this week I have Russell B. Hill from FixedOps Marketing, who's going to share with us some good stuff. You've seen him on LinkedIn, but for those that don't know him, he's going to just tell us a little bit about who he is, how he got started, and what he's all about. And I hope you have some questions, some comments, because the more lively you guys are, the more information we cover. So before we get started, like I said, I try to bring value every week. And one of the areas where we can all pick up customers and money is in warranties. Warranties are very important. It used to be that we frowned on them. It was a pain in the butt. But guess what? Now it brings in revenue. If you chase the warranty business, customers that aren't yours, but you service their brand, well, that's an opportunity or a moment of truth that you can create for that customer to bring them into your fold and make them a customer. If it's a great experience, they'll come back, they'll tell all their friends. And the great thing about warranties is that I think all but one state, and I could be wrong on that, now allows you to get retail reimbursement for warranty. Figure, why not? If the customer pays X amount of dollars for the same job, why shouldn't you get the same? So I'm going to play a short trailer and then we'll jump right into it. Pedro, we hear an awful lot about warranty reimbursement, but what does that really mean?
Well, it means that dealers can put money back into their pocket that they've earned, that they deserve. For instance, if the dealer has a warranty rate of $100 and a door rate of $110, just a $10 gap, if you're turning 1,000 hours a month, can put $120,000 back into your pocket in labor alone.
That's extra money. And that's not chump change.
No.
All right. So Russell, welcome to the show, man. Why don't you tell everybody a little bit about you?
Glad to be here, Paul. Okay. Here's a little bit about me. I got, this is fascinating because Jason Harris, I've done several things with him. He always starts off with everybody the same way. The origin story. How'd you get started? Well, 1968 with Hot Wheels. When Hot Wheels first came out, that's when I got started. I was infatuated with cars and have been my entire life. 1985, I started selling cars, moved my way up all the way to running stores. At the end of a 16-year career, I decided that I wanted to leave. Now, sometimes that's really hard for people to do. I've known a lot of people, probably a lot of you have as well, that tried to get out and ended up getting right back in. But I got out and I stayed out, and now I'm in the vendor space and have been for the last 22 years. And it's just been a wonderful journey.
Russell, nobody gets out.
Well, you know what I mean, right?
Nobody gets out alive in our business.
I'm on the outside looking in. How's that?
We're all part of it, whether you're a vendor, whether you're a dealer. It's just such a great business. There's no business like the car business. And some of my best friends today I've met on both sides of the counter. So we got a couple of comments coming in. Let me get to those. Timothy Wilson. Huh? Good evening, gents. Have a great show tonight. Thank you. And all the way from the West Coast, Michael Weldon. Hi, Paul and Russ.
Hi,
and
Michael.
Ed Chipolowski. I connected with this guy a little while back. Extremely supportive. I value your friendship, Ed. Thank you very much for everything. Andy Papenhagen, one of our SDL brothers. Looking forward to another SDL great, Russell B. Hill sharing his insight. And Eric, speaking of SDL, excited. Good evening, gentlemen. For those of you who have not tuned into SDL, it's every Sunday morning at 7 a.m. Central, 8 a.m. Eastern. You can direct message Eric or Joe Chambers for the link. I think we had 32 people on this morning. It was a phenomenal show. It's all things fixed ops, and it's just, I don't even know. Between the two of us alone, we have 80 years of experience in this business. So now you take 32 people in one room. I can't even guess how much experience is there.
And you know, they're all forward thinkers. These are people that want to get better and want to improve and cut things up, particularly since the pandemic, and figure out, you know, what we got to do to right the ship, right? Because things are changing so fast.
Yeah. So incredible forum. You guys got to check that out. And speaking of SDL, Daryl Terrell, looking forward to the wisdom from two legends in the game. You were too kind, my friend. I'm still learning the game.
Yeah, right. I don't know about the legend stuff, but thank you very much.
Although my wife does say I'm a legend in my own mind. So I don't know. Maybe there's some legend thing there. And let's see. Leanne Hill. Good evening, Paul and Russell. Hello, everyone. And Robert Charbonneau. Man, the SDL is in full force today. Says, hello, guys. Brian Davis. We work together at CDK Global, he and I. Great times. As a matter of fact, I was watching a video just the other day about one of our trips to Chicago. That was quite entertaining. Says, evening, Paul. Hello, Russell. Timothy Wilson says, Daryl Terrell with a punching emoji. Dan Stockel, afternoon from Phoenix, Arizona. Nice to see you here, Dan. And Jerry Davis, another SDL great. Another great in the business. Russell Hill, a legend. Paul Meijer, a great choice. Thank you. LinkedIn user, I think that's got to be Lamont. His name only shows up after the show is over. That's so funny. I don't know why. And my good friend and brother, Gene Girdley.
Gene.
I'm working on escaping, Paul. Gene, I told you, man, nobody gets out alive. I'm sorry, but I didn't make that rule up. It just works out that way. And Jeff Daniel, Russell, Mr. Wizard Hill in the house. Dan Stockel says, LG Bright, Paul. You need LG on the show to discuss education aspects of fixed ops. Well, Dan, have him reach out to me. I don't know if we're connected or not, but definitely have him reach out to me. All right, so I do my best to not fall too far behind. So I like to acknowledge people, and certainly when questions come up, feel free to ask them. So we're going to start. We've got a few things we want to talk about. We may get to all of them. We may not. But the first thing is, in the post I put fixed ops. Everybody, every Tom, Dick, and Harry today is talking about fixed ops because it gets eyeballs on the content, right? And not everybody's been involved in it. But it is very important. It's always been important. Fixed ops has always carried the store, otherwise known as fixed absorption. But now we're paying attention to it because there's not much to sell. I saw the other day in automotive news, I think a particular Honda model is down to a 1-day supply. That's unheard of. Absolutely unheard of. So you have to figure out ways to make money. You can only sell air for so long. But if there are no cars, there are no cars, and you have to capitalize on it. So one of the things to blow up your business online is to embrace technology in fixed ops. Why don't you share with us, Russell, some of the things that you're seeing and some of the things that you guys are doing at FixedOps Marketing that improve that?
Absolutely. Well, first of all, I remember running a store back in 1996 when high-speed internet, AOL dial-up modem and websites first came on the scene. Probably a lot of you remember that as well. But I got to tell you, within a couple of years of that, some websites to this day, although they've evolved tremendously, particularly on the variable side, but not on the fixed side. Yeah. You still got pictures of scissors cutting out a dotted line. I mean, come on, for heaven's sake. Now, there's a gentleman that I really gravitate towards. His name is Glenn Lundy. I don't know if, a lot of you may know who he is, but I had a chance to engage with him a little bit. Well, not only a digital dealer last week, but also at NADA. And he was talking about technology and how it's moved from 1922 to 2022 over the last 100 years. Okay. Oh, fascinating. Most of that's been in the last 30 years. But what he also said was in the next 5 years, technology is going to move that same 100 years. Yeah, I don't care if it's blockchain. I don't care if it's NFTs. I don't care if it's, augmented reality, AI, whatever it is, it's changing fast. And particularly since the pandemic, there's a lot of technology out there that most dealerships today think that's probably cost prohibitive. So my company, actually, we're only 28 months old, but we are the original video coupon and full service marketing solution for fixed operations. All of our specials or coupons have embedded videos, and we designed the product with one thing in mind, which all of you experience out there. I don't care if you're on the variable or fixed side. Nobody has time. Nobody has time. Everybody understands the importance of a digital footprint, because your website is where all 4 of your profit centers are located, right? New, used, parts, and service. You got to get them while they're there. And the engagement tools, the calls to action that exist on the fixed operations side is so dismal, it's embarrassing. Even most websites out there today, as many dealers as I talk to on a daily basis, some of them don't even know what their websites look like regarding service, parts, or accessories. But it's dismal. And I got to tell you, the average car on the road is over 12 years old now. Websites are designed for inventory, and there's no inventory. So what are we doing? The emphasis and the focus is on fixed operations, right? That's what pays the bills. Remember the downturn in 08, right? Fixed operations saved the day. Remember when the pandemic hit? Hopefully most of you, everybody remember it, a worldwide phenomenon, right? Yeah. And service was once again essential. So everybody, this time, I think they're really grasping that. So we're about educating consumers and also giving advisors third-party validation tools with explainer videos about any and all types of services that has not been available for. You want me to continue on? Because I can go on for the whole hour like this. Or what?
Well, here's the great thing. The video stuff, that's just builds trust, right? When you can't be there, video is the next best thing.
Yep.
Because it's a video of their own vehicle.
Well, Paul, over 80% of all consumer consumption today is video based. Now, I'm sure this is applicable to most people out there watching tonight, but I do these things around my house called honeydew projects. They never stop. They're every weekend, something happens. But I got to tell you, YouTube. Okay. I'll go to YouTube before I do any repairs now. That way I only make one trip to Lowe's, not 5 or 6 and spend the whole day. It's because of video. And that's the stuff that we're bringing to the table for fixed operations is explainer videos. So they understand and they can seize back and engage those customers in a way, whether they're 18 years old or 80 years old, because prior to a company like ours, here's what you had. A static image you couldn't do anything with. No specials at this time, under construction, check back later.
See, or you might have those.
Yeah. Or you might have a handful of lost leaders, which we're not a proponent of,
right.
Coupons that you might be able to print or schedule service. But over almost 8 out of 10 consumers nationally do not complete the service scheduling process. It's dismal. It's horrible. But things are changing.
Now, when you talk about the lost leader, that's one of my personal favorites.
Okay.
I like in 2022, the $19 oil change. Now, I don't know.
You like it or you don't?
I like when they put that out there because I don't know too many cars in today's world of synthetic oil that use $19 worth of oil. Everything is like $75. So how do you explain to a customer that comes in for that $19 oil change that, oh, by the way, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, it's actually going to be $70 or $60. I mean, they still do that.
Yeah, they very few, not the people I deal with. Yeah, is that stuff still out there? I'm not a proponent of it. I don't believe in it. I think it's counterproductive. I think that just as I learned on the variable side all those years ago, it's still applicable today. And I don't care what business you're in, the better job you do at building value, the less objection there is to price.
Right. Anticipate the problem, get it out of the way early. You got a couple of comments coming in. Michael Barrich. He's raising the bar in fixed ops training. Congratulations on your new gig. So reach out to Michael. He's done some great things with his stores, and now he's opening up a whole new world by sharing that knowledge in his new business. He
Yeah,
says,
let me can I say something about the type?
Absolutely.
I'll tell you, 3 years at Murfreesboro Nissan, he went from the bottom 10% to, I think it was about a month and a half ago, the store got recognized as the #1 Nissan dealership in customer pay and parts and labor. And his story is really fascinating because he's like old school. But when the pandemic hit, like a lot of you, and including myself, we reinvented ourselves, and we grasped and went after technology and embraced it in such a way, right? Because that stuff is scary, right? There's two kinds of fear: fear of things you know and fear of things you don't know.
Yeah.
And I'm a proponent of life begins at the edge of your comfort zone. And Michael took that ship in 3 years and made it the #1 store in the U.S. It's phenomenal.
And when he's at the top of the game, he switches gears.
He does.
Do that with other companies.
Exactly. Right move, Michael.
Brilliant move. Congratulations. Wish you much success in that. And my friend Steve Apicella, operational strength equals sales and loyalty strength. There is so much to gain by delivering the whole ownership experience beyond just the one-time transaction. Roger Gutierrez, good evening, everyone. And Michael Barrett says FixedOps Marketing should be an essential tool for every dealership today. Hey, is he working for you?
No.
Dan Stockel says work standards are a missing piece to the customer experience. Yeah, a lot of that stuff is just left to chance. There doesn't seem to be standardization. I know there are some of the more successful groups out there where there is a lot of standardization. You go into one store and it's a very similar experience to what you would experience in one of their other stores. Jerry Davis says Fixed has always paid the bills, but has been the redheaded stepchild. Not anymore. Fixed has been the rising star. Fixed
Right.
Transparency is key. I think, and I agree with you, that most people pretty much have understood that it's here to stay as far as being an important part of the dealership that everybody recognizes publicly. Brian Davis, Eric Keith Wilson, and Owen Moon have the FixedOps merchandising answers. Owen Moon is also a good company for FixedOps.
Absolutely. Sure is.
And Eric says, Paul Meijer and Russ Hill, where passion and wisdom meet, video is extremely important. And video, it used to be you needed special equipment. What do you need now, Russell?
Just a website. I mean, it's all everything right. Yeah, a phone, whatever. I mean, the old saying that what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. That's not true because everybody's got a cell phone. There's nothing private anymore. There's not.
Right.
But yeah, the overall consumption for video stuff is astronomical. Particularly if, how it enhances the SEO side of things. SEO is really important too, obviously.
Albert Thompson, what's the % of service form abandonment average today? That's a great fact and really is indicative of user experience. Why would you say that it still has a low completion rate? You picked that one off, Russell.
I don't think I understand the question.
His question is, what's the percentage of people that abandon forms? How many people fill out forms? I'd say about this many.
Yeah. Well, when you take a look at national numbers, demographically, it can be different in different parts of the country, obviously. But, for the most part, I would say everybody, the vast majority of dealers out there have some service scheduling tool of some sort. Okay. And if you were a betting man or woman out there, almost 8 out of 10 do not complete the service scheduling process. All you ever know is, did they schedule it in the DMS or not? What about the people that attempted to and abandoned that?
Right.
It's important to capture that information. That's one of the things that my company does, is it captures that information.
Yeah. You don't know what you don't know is a phrase that everybody knows. And that couldn't be more applicable to websites.
Yes.
Because very few people interact with the forums today. And it's been that way for quite some time. Albert's got a great company also that captures that data and turns it into actionable.
Yeah. I mean, it's important when they're on your website. You need to engage them. You need to deliver the right message, the right content at the right time, and you need to engage them in a way that, like I mentioned earlier, I don't care if you're 18 or 80. You need to have the engagement tools for them to convert or engage the way they want to.
Right.
Instead of having either a print or a link to schedule service, if it even has that, you need to offer multiple types of calls to action to engage that customer if you want to keep them.
I'm picking up some background noise. Is that on my end or your end?
I hear nothing.
Hold on one second. Hey, Paulette. I think my wife might be watching the TV, and the TV sometimes turns itself louder.
It turns itself louder?
Yeah, I don't know what that is. It just happens. It's the weirdest thing.
I'll turn my gain down. Maybe that'll help.
Brian Davis says Albert Thompson X time is at 60 to 75% abandonment on average. And that's just what they track. But what we were talking about is the stuff they never even know came and left.
Yeah. Why is that though? See, that's the question. Most people don't know. Why is that? Well, most people don't even take the customer journey on their own website. The 404 broken links. It's horrible, or there's nothing there. The abandonment is because you're asking for there's too many clicks. I'd like to refer to anybody, all of you, everybody, particularly since the pandemic. I call it the 3-click rule. If you don't engage them and serve up what they're wanting by the 3rd click, and some of you know exactly what I'm talking about out there, exponentially the exit rates go up with every click you force a customer to make. Think of your own shopping habits.
Yeah. And a lot of times when you get to the website, you think you're going to a service page. There's nothing there, like you said. No content or coming soon.
Yeah, I was talking to a dealer not too long ago. He loved what we were presenting. We're talking, and I had his website pulled up. I didn't pull it up till the end. He said, "Yeah, Russell, it's pretty fascinating stuff, but the price, and we have several different platforms. I'm not going to get into all that, but he was all about price. So obviously I dropped the ball and did something because I didn't do a good enough job building value. I did. It was just this guy and his demeanor. No big deal. So pulled up his website because he said, yeah, we have an advertising marketing company that already does that. I said, well, there's nothing on there right now. And he pulled it up. I pulled it up in front of me. Look, he said, well, I think it's just because it's the first of the month or something like that. And I said, here's the thing. It costs you more to have what you have than it would to go ahead and pay. And let's change everything on your website regarding service parts and accessories. And I didn't get him, but you expected the next natural thing would be, well, he signed up because it sounded good. No, he was just a butthead, but that's, they're out there too, right?
Part of the problem is they're not receptive to even listening.
Listen, I got to tell you something. An opportunity is not an opportunity when everybody thinks it's an opportunity. They've missed it. So if like this morning show with Joe and Eric, and the accolades of all the people that are on there and other types of venues that I and you and many of us are on. Here's the thing. Everybody's talking about EV, and they're all scared to death. I remember when Automotive first came out with internet leads, and oh my God, shut the doors, bar the door. I mean, everything's going to change. It's not going to happen. Why don't we focus a little bit more on active customers? Okay. Why don't we focus a little bit on inactive customers and reaching out to them, focus on our own processes. I'm not talking to people today about hours and effective labor rates and technicians. There's a lot of challenges out there. I get it. There really is. But we need to embrace technology. It's all the people that are listening or that are involved in these kind of conversations, they're going to get it. Because in 5 years, if you decide to hop on, you're done. You missed it.
Right. The technology moves too quickly. And the thing is that, when the customer leaves, they're gone. They're gone, right? 7 out of 10 customers go to the aftermarket today. Yeah. If it's not more than that. And if you filter out the ones that have to go back because of the warranty, I'd say that number is even a smaller number of people that come back to the store.
That's a
So-
great point, Paul. That's changing, but you're right. NADA says that for every franchise dealer, there are 16 non-franchise entities that are all jockeying for that business. They know all the dealers are sleeping at the wheel for years, decades, okay? Sleeping at the wheel when it comes to their website and engaging customer. They dominate the paid and organic search results most of the time. That's over. That's over. Dealerships are now getting into the 21st century and getting out of the 20th century because things are moving too fast.
There's nobody better equipped to service the customer than the dealer. Between the facility, between the training, between the quality of parts. You know, I've spent many years in the aftermarket as well as many years in the dealership, and the parts are not the same quality. They just aren't. So we really need to embrace and jump on the bandwagon here. Let's see here. Albert Thompson says, thanks, Brian Davis. Interesting. Let's connect as well later. Any thoughts on why it's so high? I think we touched on some of that. Dan Stockel, transparency starts with straightforward estimating on the dealer's web page. I want to get a quote for a CV joint on XYZ vehicle with a good, better, best price. And my local 5 dealers say call for a price. No joke, it's still today. Click here for internet price. That is when the customer experience hits bottom. I don't know if we'll ever see it to that extent, but heading in that direction certainly is a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Because we have so many choices today that we don't need to go through the rigmarole.
No.
We
No,
just
here's one tidbit. I see this on a lot of websites. I'm a marketing guy. I'm a sales guy. Yeah, I get it. But and I know enough to be really dangerous about some things. But in your top level navigation or in dealerships, top level navigation, when you hold your mouse or you click and it has the drop down, right?
Yeah.
If there's more than 8 items in the drop down, I've done a lot of research on this. Statistically, the amount of anxiety that ensues at that point in time because they can't find what they're looking for. And I see 20 or 30 sometimes in these drop downs, rows of things for people to look at. You're not going to engage customers that way. It's not going to happen.
Too many choices, they turn around and back right up.
Right.
Michael Perry says accurate momentum. And Michael Barrett, thank you both for the kind words. And it's okay, Russell Hill, you can share the news.
Okay, the news is he doesn't work for me. The news is he's a reseller for FixedOps Marketing. There's a difference there. I'm just saying, they're right. He does not work for me. He works for himself. He's got his own company, but he wanted to be a reseller because he's a believer. He used his for the last almost 2 years, had our product in Murfreesboro. Now, are we the reason he's number one? No, Michael and his team are the reason he became number one with the processes. Are we part of that equation? I'd like to think we are. And if we're not, I'm sure Michael Barrett's known him very well. The Titan will probably say something in the comment section momentarily.
Everybody's looking for the silver bullet. There is no one silver bullet. It's a combination of a lot of things.
It is.
The whole trilogy of people, process, tools. There's a reason people come first. That's the common denominator in everything, in every business. But you have to have all of the other elements because today you can't always connect the dots. You can't always say it's from this piece or from that piece. But the more doors they open and the more times they see your face, the greater the chance that they're going to take action on your product. Ed Shipolowski says, Russell and Paul, with the transformation in technology, do you foresee a time when leasing will overtake outright sales of vehicles due to technology? Well, I don't want to jump off. I want to jump with this one. You know, the leasing game, it's up and down for all manufacturers, for new, for used. I think it's always going to be varying degrees depending on what the programs are. And I'll give you an example. I worked for Saab years ago. I know all the Saab stories are about to come out. And the Saab 93299 lease was what sold that car. It was a decent car, but was it the best car on the planet? Probably not. but it was a decent car. It had a cult following. And we sold those cars like flapjacks. The customer would call up, yeah, I'm thinking about coming in this weekend. What do you have? I've got a Scarab green one, a cherry red, and an embassy blue. Where are you calling from? New York City, and you're coming in Saturday? It's Wednesday. Take this for whatever it's worth. We won't have that car when you come here Saturday. So if you want to give me a deposit, you want the green one, the red one, or the blue one, you put your name on it, you can come pick it up on Saturday. And if that doesn't work for you, totally get it. No problem. And leasing sold those cars. Okay. Used cars. Now I know a couple of guys that have used car leasing programs, and they're doing gangbusters with them. Most of the other dealers are not. So for those dealers, yeah, leasing is a very high number. But then you have other customers where the price of the car, first of all, you can't get the car. And if you can get the car, it's thousands of dollars over sticker. So by the time you factor in what a lease payment would be on that compared to a long-term finance, which you can pay off but lock into a low payment, it doesn't make sense to lease it in a lot of those cases. But that's all subject to change. As the cost of money goes up and down, availability of vehicles goes up and down. I don't think there will ever be a time where one overtakes the other. I think it's going to be like a yin yang of how to pay for car uses. What's your thoughts on that one, Russell?
I agree. It's all it's a market thing. I know that people are in leases now that are coming out of them. Let me tell you what they're doing. They're buying them at that guaranteed. You buy it, sell it, trade it, or walk away from it. They're buying it because those are the options you have on a lease. A look what it costs right now to get even something comparable. It costs thousands and thousands of dollars more. So that's a home run for people that are in leases now. But it could catch it either way. It's up and down. Yeah, absolutely. People are they're for the most part payment buyers, right?
Yeah, our one of our cars was coming off lease. Wouldn't even think about buying a new one. We just send me the payoff quote, send you a check, done.
Right on.
We've saved thousands of dollars, and we love the car. We've maintained the car. So for us, that made sense, and for a lot of other people, that makes sense. So
yeah, leasing is good. It can be good or bad. It depends on the customer really needs to be transparent with the sales associate about just what it is they're using it for and what their needs, wants, and desires are, because it can bite you in the ass.
Yeah, for sure. Brian Davis says, Albert Thompson, because the experience hasn't evolved since before our cell phones had HD cameras and nobody pays attention. I'd argue with you if I could, Brian, but I can't. He says, I have an answer for that fallout as well. Right that very second when they fail, while still on site, would like to talk about what you guys do with that, Russell and Albert Thompson.
Okay, once again, I need a little clarification.
All right, let me see if I can. At the second they're about to abandon, would like to talk about what you guys do on that. Do you proactively reach out to the customer while they're on the site? Do you capture the data and then within a very short period of time contact them?
So we So I think I get we track everything. So if a customer texts or emails or attempts to schedule service or phone calls, we track it all. Our print, etc. And every one of our coupons actually have unique landing pages as well to engage the customer. Yeah. But when a customer interacts on the website, it immediately goes to a single email, multiple emails, or ADF XML into the CRM, or all the above simultaneously in seconds. So if you see Russell that attempted to schedule service on a coolant flush, but I didn't complete that process, you would never know. Now you do, because you get an instant notification that Russell Hill from this email address and this phone number intended to schedule service on this coolant flush. And somebody gets on the phone, service BDC, and is proactive. It's made a difference. Now, this is just me telling you that. there's
Yeah.
a couple of few people on here that will certainly validate that as well.
I'm familiar with that technology. So that
Phenomenal.
definitely works. I hope that answers your question, Brian.
I do too. Great
Gene
question.
Girdley, 3 clicks.
Love it. Yeah. True. Right.
Yeah. If you can't get the answer right away, that's what I love about some of these websites where although with the cookies going away, I'm not sure how they're going to rework that, because it used to be that when the customer came to the website, you knew what they were looking for and you served up exactly what they were looking for. So right out of the gate, it's less clicks because you already have the answer to what they're looking for.
Right. But as you said, that's changing.
That's definitely changing.
And it is. And beyond, there's only a couple of companies that even do what we do. It's the technology is that new. So there's not very many people that do it out there. Other than that, you're left to the devices of an advertising marketing company, which most of the time spends more time on the variable side, or you're left to finding the time to come up with a few coupons that, because they go down at the end of the month, that really don't do anything anyway, and it's just ugly. Look, everything's changed.
I'm curious. I'd walk into stores and I would ask the GM what they spend on variable ops marketing, and they could generally tell me within a few dollars. I would ask the same question what they spend on fixed ops marketing, and there would be a pause.
Mm-hmm.
There would be silence, and there would be thought.
Yeah.
And I would ask them the question, is it more or less than $1,000?
Yeah. Well, even the ones that do, Paul, even if it's SEO or SEM, regardless, and you got some ranking there above the fold, as you're doing searches, when you click on it, what it clicks to is a blank page. I can't tell you how many times I've seen that. What a waste of money. What a waste of money. I mean, it's ridiculous.
That right out of the gate says, I'm not really in this business. I just
they want to be. They just don't know. They just don't know. Okay, I'm gonna say this. This is I don't even know if it's from this guy Albert Einstein. Some of you may know who he is. He's long time dead, but he said the significant problems and challenges that we face today cannot be solved at the same level of thinking used to create them. Something's got to change. Can't go. You heard the definition of insanity, right? You're doing the same thing, expecting different results. It's time to move. And that's happening right now. There's a huge paradigm shift that's taken place on this particular topic, fixed operations, in multitudes of ways. We talk about it all the time. I don't care if it's from technicians, minorities, women, advisors, marketing, technology, all of it's applicable now. And everybody's talking, not just because I'm in that side of things. That's the focal point. I mean, what are you going to do? They're not spending their money on driving traffic to the inventory on the website because there's only 4 vehicles.
There's no need.
Right. So they better be focusing on fixed operations. They're going to miss the boat. They better be focusing on active customers. Stop the bleeding. The bleeding at 36 to 39 months is astronomical. Not just a little bit. It is astronomical. That's why there's 16 non-franchise entities out there that are all jockeying for this business. Okay. And dealers are waking up and they smell the roses, and it's starting to change because of all the people that are talking about it now.
And the whole mindset of, you don't make money on tires, that's all going out the window, because the tire is the gateway to the brakes, to the maintenance service, to the retention.
Yep.
So
Tires,
big picture.
Tires is huge. I mean, substantially huge. We talk about that. I know other people do as well, which is great. I know that sometimes on some of these, really advanced metropolitan stores, it can tell you the toe and camber, tire inflation, wear and tear, all that in seconds before you even meet the advisor. They got a report and they know. Think about it. It's all about just about the time they need tires. Isn't it kind of funny how it always matches about the 3-year mark?
Yeah.
when they need tires, about the time the warranty's out. If you get them on that, it's a long game. It's not a short game. I know the tire thing has been tried before. It's not a costly thing. You keep 15 or 20 SKUs of tires in stock, the most common tires, etc. We need to be talking to customers about tires. Okay. I mean, come on, we're talking about families. We're talking about safety. We're talking about, everything has to do with, the performance of the vehicle. There's so many, but 67% of those people are going to come back and buy a newer pre-owned vehicle. Why not from you? I remember when I was partners in a CRM company for a long time, the bottom 2%, unless it's changed, this was prior to about 10 years ago, but the bottom 2% of a database is buying a newer used car every single day. And they're not even marketing to these people. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Jerry Davis says 3-click stops. Make it easy to find what they need, because you're right, they will be gone. And Tim Wilson says some of my clicks are clicking through the pop-ups. Oh, yeah, that's another one that drives me crazy. 3 pop-ups a lot of times on a website. That's like flies or gnats at a barbecue. You want to turn around and go back home.
Yeah. Well, that's
why
changing.
Does that still happen?
You'd have to talk to, I think, less and less today, but yes, it does still happen. It's still pretty common, not as common as it was. Less is actually more today, right? Cleaner is more. Less is more. More is not more. More is less, because people leave. They don't like that stuff. And you know what? With the new technology that's just around the corner, it won't make it. You'll be able to bypass all that stuff anyway.
Let's see. Gene Girdley says, and is it optimized for mobile? Gary V did research that said 80% use their phone for most search activity versus computers. I think the focus is again turning towards mobile friendly.
It is, absolutely. Our stuff is very responsive. It knows what mobile device, it knows what tablet, what pad, what PC. I'm going to tell you, though, this is going to be mind shattering for all of you out there listening. Printing is the second most popular option still, believe it or not.
With websites.
Well, for fixed operations, not for the variable side, for the fixed side. Our reporting, well, the number one is text. Yes, people are on phone. It's very responsive, et cetera. But printing is still a huge function for printing service coupons, believe it or not. I mean, it pales in comparison to what it used to be, but it's still second or third.
Now, when I go to Staples, I go there often because I have to get supplies. They send me the coupons in the email, and I hit print, but I get the barcode, and then they scan the barcode. So I guess I haven't clicked on enough of these coupons to know whether or not they're doing any of that. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do. I mean, there's so many different ways out there for people to display that information, whether it be barcode or the coupon itself or etc.
Albert Thompson, Brian Davis, that is why I was asking. It's very interesting how we would work together to possibly help re-engage this fallout. Russell B. Hill, thanks for your info, and you're exactly right. No one really analyzes user experience on their own site. Sleep at the wheel is right.
Yeah, let me say this. So with the analytics, now we don't know if these people are coming in or not, just to keep it short, but our average store converts at 20%, meaning that they engage either text, email, phone call, schedule service, etc. Our benchmark is 20. Most of them are actually a lot higher than that. And I had a dealer not too long ago, loved the product. He actually moved forward with us, etc. When you're showing it to him, he got it, man. He got it. He said, man, I've been thinking about this kind of stuff for years, and finally somebody's doing it. And he said, but I would like, a couple of people to talk to. And I said, sure. Yeah, not a problem whatsoever. And he said, I love your reporting. I've never seen anything like it, but could I get a before and after? And I said, before and after what? He said, well, I'd like to see what, stores what it was like before. And then since, with your reporting, what happened since then? Well, how do we know that? I mean, nobody tracks that. There is no before. There is no before. Nobody out there has a before.
Yeah. Well,
I said it a little bit more diplomatically, but I mean, how can I give you a before? Do you know what your coupons do? No, nobody does because nobody tracks it.
They don't track it.
Right. And why they don't track it? Well, maybe because for 15 days out of the month, you had none.
It's so easy, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I love it, though. I love this industry. I love the people. I love automotive. It's changed my life. I've seen it change and impact thousands and thousands. And, you think it's a big business, but it's not. It's extremely small.
Yeah.
And everything that I do or my company does, it's all about reputation, right? Because you can blow it in a second and that's it. You're done. You're over with. So you better undercommit and over deliver instead of the opposite. And no smoke and mirrors, or you're gonna get caught. So if you're trying to do anything out there and you're looking for the shortcut, there's no shortcut.
Now, I forgot to mention this earlier. I wanted to congratulate you also because you are now authorized with Volkswagen. Is that correct?
Yeah. We're a certified co-op with Volkswagen. Yes, we are nationally. That comes right off the part statement. So if there's any VW stores out there, reach out to us. Be more than happy to send you some links, show it to you, whatever. But yeah, it's co-opted 50%.
So now you'll be able to show them the before after once you start rolling.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. That's great. Thank you.
Earl Sticks Brown. We have to connect this week. I think you're back in town. It says, good evening, everyone. Great dialogue on fixed ops. Thanks, Paul. And Gene Gurley says, leasing is about focus, training, and commitment. The program does matter, but dealer has to be totally committed.
That's right.
And I think what Gene means by that, and that's true, because sometimes you need to get to the reason behind the answer, right? And sometimes the customer may have one answer in mind when it may in fact be another answer that could satisfy the problem just as well.
See, I think I like what Gene said, because I remember I used to be really big into leasing when I sold Toyotas back in the early 90s. They came out, I think it was 1992 or 93, the Toyota Touch program. Okay. It was huge. And I really became a student and really got into that. But you got to be really careful, right? Because here's what it's like. People come on the lot. They treat buying a car truck like a militant covert operation, right? The less information you have, the more in control they actually feel. And to Gene's point, you have to be transparent. You have to do some digging. You have to do fact finding, gathering information to make sure that it's right for that particular circumstance. That's what I got out of what Gene just said. I hope I'm not too far off base, Gene.
No, that's what I got out of it too. Sean Butler, I can verify that we know if someone is on the site or downloads a coupon.
That's right.
And he says, ask Russell how many stores I have with him.
3. Yep.
Michael Baird says,
thank you, Sean.
Conversion rates matter for fixed operations just as SEO/SEM content is relevant for fixed ops too. For the last 15 plus years, it appears that those KPIs were variable related only.
That's it.
For most manufacturers.
Who said that?
Michael Barrich, raising the bar.
Yeah, there you go. I'm telling you, that's so true. Again, it's changing. Look at everybody that's on here and all the shows that you and I are part of, talking about this kind of stuff.
Yeah,
Fixed ops is where it's at, and it's all about technology, and it is.
Mike Fisher, track engagement and you win because you can target the people who are interested, the hand raisers, I like to call those. 100%. Joe Chambers, so sorry I'm late, guys. Not a problem. It's the internet. It lives on forever and ever. You know, a lot of people watch it on the replay.
Love you, Joe Chambers.
Joe Chambers is the other part of SDL.
He is indeed.
So reach out to Joe Chambers or Eric for the link for Sunday morning's SDL service.
Do not miss it, right? Don't miss it.
Extremely powerful.
Yeah.
Michael Perry says that's 3 too many. 3 clicks. Well, I don't think we'll ever get to the point where it's 1.
No,
It's
but
never going to happen.
one thing, I don't know how much time we have, but one thing that we have not talked about is active customers and inactive customers. Okay.
Yeah.
It's important. I know that some men, and maybe they have, and I'm just not aware of. I know Toyota does for sure. And there's probably others out there in the last couple of years since the pandemic following suit. The money they used to pay for CSI and SSI, all that stuff. Now it has to do with 2 visits a year, to retain customers, keep
Retention.
They're getting it. They understand. So I hear people all the time. Everybody's hearing all this EV, seeing EV. What are we going to do? Well, first of all, it's a long time before it's going to come like that anyway. And yeah, there'll be some stuff that you're not going to make. I mean, obviously you don't change oil, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But if we focus just a little bit on the defection rate at 36 to 39 months, it won't make it. It won't. It's a lot of money.
Yeah, it's interesting to see where that goes, because there's some manufacturers saying that by 2025 they're going to be all in, but that's only 3 years from now.
Yeah.
And when you have, what was it, 20% of the Cadillac dealers take the buyout instead of doing the electrical upgrades.
Yeah. What was that for people in a 10-mile radius of the dealership? The infrastructure and the storage capabilities are not there. They're years out. It's just not, what would take a 6-hour drive with gasoline will take double that if you have to stop and charge. It's not there yet. It can be very dangerous for those of you who understand the danger and the safety and storage capabilities. What happens if one of those things catch on fire? Fire departments cannot put those things out. And there's no foam, there's no water that'll stop an electric car from going. It has to burn itself out. It's just, there's a lot more that needs to be done. I don't see it happen next. That's just me though. Hey.
And even the jaws of life, you can't chop into an electric car the same way you can cut the roof off a car that's you have to scrape off the side of the highway. So yeah, there's a lot of variables. Michael Perry says that's 3 too many. Oh, we covered that. Joe Chambers, super excited. Russ Hill and the Titan are in my corner for marketing. Michael Perry says, boom. The website providers don't want to track it. And Sean Butler says we're averaging 90% show rate with people who save our website coupons. That's pretty strong.
Yeah. Another thing, I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, if I may, Paul, but when you have premium services that you're talking to a customer either before, during, or after, regardless, coolant flush, brake. I mean, all the flushes, and not that you're selling it because they actually do need it because the engine coolant reservoir is low and has a bunch of debris in it or whatever. Yeah. So, a lot of times advisors, they're extremely busy and maybe they don't know enough to really upsell it anyway. So these videos can be used to actually send to the customers as third-party validation and reinforcement, right, whatever that he or she says or fails to say to help get that additional line or lines per RO.
Yeah, because we talk about video, oftentimes people think about the videos that they capture on the video MPIs, and that's true. But there's also a lot of video available from the vendors themselves that talk about the importance of the particular products. Yeah. In F&I, it's been used for years. Here's a video on what tire and wheel means to you, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, or what a VSC means to you. So there's a lot of material between what you capture with your own device and what's available from the suppliers or the vendors. There's a lot of technology available to you. And that 90% show rate is freaking stronger than garlic. Gene Girdley says they may not track their coupons, but they always check the expiration date when someone tries to use one. Well, what's funny is some companies will honor them regardless of what the date is. I know this because I push it myself.
Yeah, they do. It's really, the other day I was looking at doing some search engine stuff and looking at some websites, and here we are, May, right? And the expiration date is 12/31/2022. I mean, come on. There's some hellacious sense of urgency right there, right? 6 months down the road. I mean, so yeah, there needs to be there's a lot there, and there's a lot. There's a lot to marketing, the way it displays, delivering it at the right time, engaging them in the right way, having the exposure on your website. But the fundamental thing that I'm really proud that we solved is that when our stuff goes live, and maybe somebody on here will say something in regards to that, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to manage it. It's automated. Even the expiration dates default from the beginning to the end of the current month. And there's so much more. But the fact is that we know that has been a fundamental challenge. Everybody's wearing hats, all these multiple hats.
Yeah.
And they're not marketing experts, but they know the stuff needs to be on there. What we are not about is a 1995 oil change. We are not about that. Okay.
I was being facetious before, by the way.
Okay.
When I say I love them. I love them because I think they're so ridiculous.
But they're still out there.
Every day I see them. Every day.
Crazy.
There's a particular store in my area. Every day. So we're going to go a few minutes over. I hope you're okay with that because we still have some stuff we want to get to. Gene Gurley says, yes, guys, on the leasing. So we both did get that exactly the way he
Right on, Gene.
And Sean Butler says, I only have 3. I had more. If I had more, they'd be signed up too. And Dan Stockel says, coupons don't expire. The engagement cost for the expired coupon more than exceeds a discount. Honor all coupons to enhance the customer experience and possible return visits. Continue to walk over dollars to save pennies.
That's right.
Spot on, right? Oh,
right on.
I know so many companies that will honor anybody's coupon. When I go to Staples, I know there's certain things that I saved. I think it was $80 on my uninterrupted power supply. I could have bought it on Amazon, but they had one in the store that was exactly what I wanted. It was $85 less expensive online. I showed them the coupon. They do the manager's override. I got that. I know when I buy my toner cartridges, it's like $6 less expensive on Amazon, but guess what? They honor it, and I walk out with the 3-pack right then and there. So yeah, a smart store, honor them.
That's right.
Mike Fisher, Sean has figured it out. He's tracking people who save his coupons. That is your money, customer. Yeah.
That's right.
If you track it, you'll know how to improve it.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't,
you know what works. And that's part of one of the things we do with monthly performance meetings or anytime the dealer wants, and we hadn't got into the email marketing stuff, may not have time. But it's, I don't know the best way to say this. I'll come back to that. I just had a brain fart, so I lost my train of thought.
That's what happens to us old guys.
Yeah.
Wow, I got to get caught up here. We got a lot of great comments. Mike Fisher, Sean, oh, we did that one. Robert Charbonneau, I have stores that have increased their website traffic 50% online, appointments over 100%.
That is Mr. Bob Shaw. Let me tell you what, that guy is a guru when it comes to processes, technicians, advisors, training, you name it. Yeah. And there's a bunch of people on here. Michael Barrett said there's a bunch of people on here that are really good at that. Corey's bunch of people.
You know what's great about this show is that we get a lot of people that are thought leaders in the space that are happy to share with you. So connect with them. This is the perfect forum for that. Michael Perry says that's 3 pop-ups too many. Gene Gurley, Dan Stockel agreed, but many don't, sadly. And Robert Charbonneau says with FixedOps Marketing. I'm seeing a common denominator here, man. Sean Butler says, Mike Fisher, my BDC is reaching out to anyone who doesn't schedule an appointment after saving an online coupon. Bam. This guy misses nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Dan Stockel, thank you, Gene, in the East Valley. And Joe Chambers, Paul, as always, a privilege to be associated with you. Oh, dude, you are right here. You are part of our tribe. You are part of our tribe, man.
Great servant leader there. Yep.
We are lucky to be in the same community.
Mm-hmm.
And Joe Chambers says, hey, to Russell as well. Kudos, my man. And Robert Charbonneau, parts of Canada cannot use some winter months.
Clarification
on that one. Mike Fisher, 20% of customers are 80% of your revenues. Hey, there's that 80-20 rule again.
Right.
Just need to cultivate that 20% by targeting. And I've been saying this for a few years. 95.5 is the new 80-20. Look at those numbers. Robert Charbonneau says, sorry, electric cars.
Oh.
Sean Butler, thank you. Russell Hill, Paul Meijer, Joe Chambers, Michael Barrett's team, SDL rocks. Ed Chipolowski, perfect usage of the metaverse, Paul. Oh, that show with Brian Kramer on the metaverse.
Charts, yep.
Wow, I just reposted it the other day. For those that didn't see it, you might want to click on that one.
No, I mean they need to.
Phenomenal.
I'm telling you that stuff is phenomenal. I saw him also at Digital Dealer on his breakout, covering the metaverse and stuff like that. And he's learning like all of us.
Yeah,
I
love that guy.
Yeah,
You
you talked about the 95.5. So here, 95% of the population gets their information from the same 95% of the population that has less than what they have or less than what they have, and they wonder why the hell they don't have anymore.
I couldn't have put
They're
that.
all here. We're all here. They're on Sunday Night Live or SDL on Sunday morning or the Mastermind on Tuesday or all the other avenues that are out there. These are all the thought leaders. These aren't just the leader. These are servant leaders, people that are talking and cutting it up and facing some hard truths and making some adjustments and getting out there and tweaking things and going to the next level.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Joe Chambers says, Sean Bartlett, thank you, my friend. And Dan Stockel, Mike Fisher, customer abandonment equals millions, multiple millions, Dan, multiple millions. And Joe Chambers says, I'm not about marketing. You are Russell B. Hill. Dan Stockel says, thank you, Paul Meijer and Russ Hill. Michael Barrett, happy birthday, Robert Charbonneau. I know it was his birthday.
Yeah, it was a couple days ago, but happy birthday, Bob. I mean, Robert. Excuse me, Robert.
All right, why don't we sing him happy birthday? How's that? You ready? Come on. What's the worst thing that can happen? If your voice sucks, so does mine. Happy birthday to you, cha-cha-cha. Happy birthday to you, cha-cha-cha. Happy birthday, dear Robert, cha-cha-cha. Happy birthday to you, cha-cha-cha. And many more.
On Channel 4.
Are you going to do the Are You One, Are You Two thing? No.
What's that?
Are you one? Are you two? And you do it all the way to their age, and then they go, stop.
Oh, no. Yeah. No, Bob is a young man.
Wow. Well, Russell, this was a great show, man.
I enjoyed it.
Thank you for coming on. You shared some great information here. We covered a lot of stuff. We didn't cover 100% everything, but I think we got a good amount of stuff out there to at least spark some thought and maybe click in somebody's head that, I tried that. I wasn't successful with it, or I thought about it, but I don't know how to get started. And I always say that we always remember what we forgot to ask when we had the opportunity to do so.
True.
We're all that way.
Yeah.
But here's the beauty.
Yeah, a lot of great comments. And appreciate all of you. I'm just honored and humbled to be on with you tonight, Paul. Thank you for having me, and for all of you out there listening, all the comments, etc., engagement, questions, and so on. It's greatly appreciated.
If you guys think of anything that you forgot to ask, either just type it in the comments. Weeks later, I see comments come in, or click on Russell's name in the post or my name in the post. Reach out to either one of us. Happy to connect offline and answer any questions that you may have. I appreciate you guys tuning in, and everybody that supports the show every week. It means a lot, and it's our way of giving back to the community that's treated us so well for so long. So I wish everybody a safe and successful week next week, and we'll see you next week on Sunday Night Live. Thanks again, Russell.
Thank you.